Aye.
The meeting room will come to order. We are now holding a meeting of the Southlake Junior FFA chapter. Madam Vice President, all officers at their stations.
I shall call the roll of officers, determine if they are at their stations, and report back to you, Mr. President. The Sentinel.
Stationed by the door.
Your duties there.
Through this door pass many friends of the FFA. It is my duty to see that the door is open to our friends at all times and that they are welcome. I care for the meeting room and paraphernalia. I strive to keep the room comfortable and assist the President in maintaining order.
The Reporter.
The reporter is stationed by the flag.
Why by the flag?
As the flag covers the United States of America, so I strive to inform the people in order that every man, woman, and child may know that the FFA is a national organization that reaches from the state of Alaska to Puerto Rico and from the state of Maine to Hawaii.
The Treasurer.
Stationed at the emblem of Washington.
Your duties there.
I keep a record of receipts and disbursements, just as Washington kept his farm accounts, carefully and accurately. I encourage thrift among the members and strive to build up our financial standings through savings and investments. George Washington was very able to serve his country because he was financially independent.
The Secretary.
Stationed by the ear of corn.
Your duties there.
I keep an accurate record of all meetings and correspond with other secretaries wherever corn is grown and FFA members meet.
The Advisor.
Here by the owl.
Why stationed by the owl?
The owl is a time-honored emblem of knowledge and wisdom. Being older than the rest of you, I am asked to advise you from time to time as the need arises. I hope that my advice will always be based on true knowledge and ripened with wisdom. Madam Vice President, why do people plow at your station?
The plow is the symbol of labor and tillage of the soil. Without labor, neither knowledge nor wisdom can accomplish much. My duties require me to assist at all times in directing the work of our organization. I preside over meetings in the absence of our president, whose place is beneath the rising sun.
Why is the president so stationed?
The rising sun is the token of a new era in agriculture. If we will follow the leadership of our president, we shall be led out of the darkness of selfishness and into the glorious sunlight of brotherhood and cooperation. Mr. President, all officers are at their stations.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. The Secretary will call the roll members.
There are 7 members and numerous guests present, Mr. President.
Thank you. FFA members, why are we here?
To practice brotherhood, honor agricultural opportunities and responsibilities, and develop those qualities of leadership which an FFA member should possess.
May we accomplish our purposes, I now declare this meeting of the Southlake Junior FFA chapter duly open for the transaction of business or attention to any matters which may properly be presented. Is there any new business which should now be transacted?
Mr. President.
The chair recognizes Ms. Cruz.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that our chapter set up a display at our school promoting careers in agriculture.
Second.
It has probably been moved and seconded that our chapter set up a display at our school promoting careers in agriculture. This motion is debatable and amendable and requires a majority vote for passage. Is there any discussion on this main motion?
Mr. President.
The chair recognizes Ms. Lewis.
Thank you, I rise to a point of order.
State your point.
Robert's Rules of Order state that the maker of the motion has the right to speak first. You did not follow this rule.
Point sustained. Ms. Cruz, you may begin speaking.
Thank you, Mr. President. I believe this is an excellent idea because we all know that we have an agricultural-based university in the state of Florida. By promoting these agricultural careers, we are able to demonstrate to our students how great agriculture is in the great state of Florida. So please help me in passing this motion.
Mr. President.
The chair recognizes Ms. Lewis.
Thank you, Mr. President. Fellow members, I rise in heavy opposition to this motion. In the FFA manual, it states that to have a successful chapter, members must conduct and value their SAE projects. This holds true for our chapter. We have many SAE projects that are being conducted as of yet. Many people are working hard on their SAE projects, and I don't believe they would be able to help us create this display case or put it up on our school, and I don't think we would be able to get this accomplished. Please help me fail this motion.
Mr. President.
The chair recognizes Ms. Nyhofer.
Thank you, Mr. President. There are several reasons why I'm in favor of this motion. One of those being, if you go throughout our school, you can realize that not many of our students know much about agriculture. I feel that this motion would give us the opportunity to project to our school what agriculture actually means. So please join me in passing this motion.
Mr. President.
The chair recognizes Mr. Heisey.
I do not think that this is a good motion. The reason why is because we are recently having a lot of problems with regards to getting permissions for things like this, and I don't think that we are going to be able to have enough time to have this at our school and get enough permission in order to have it. So please help me advance this motion.
Mr. President.
The chair recognizes Ms. Gardner.
Thank you, Mr. President. I recently created our chapter's program of activities, and I know we absolutely have no time to get together and create this display. I urge you in failing this motion. Mr. President.
The chair recognizes Ms. Hernandez.
Thank you, Mr. President. As we all know, agriculture is the foundation of our great nation. And I think that by making this display, we would be showing our respect to the people that led for the foundation of our amazing nation, the United States. And I think by doing this, we'd be able to help us show our national patriotic spirits. Please help me in passing this motion.
Mr. President.
The chair recognizes Ms. Neidelberg.
I move that we amend this motion by adding in the words next year. So the new motion would read, I move that our chapter set up a display at our school promoting careers in agriculture next year.
Second.
It has probably been moved and seconded that we amend the main motion by adding the words next year, making the main motion read, I move that our chapter set up a display at our school promoting careers in agriculture next year. This motion is debatable and amendable and requires a majority vote for passage. Is there any discussion on this amendment?
Mr. President.
As maker of the motion, Ms. Neidelberg, you have the right to speak first.
Thank you, Mr. President. Fellow guests, I believe this amendment is needed because, as our Vice President mentioned before, we do not have enough time this year to do this. So if we do this next year, we can schedule this in ahead of time and know exactly what we're going to do. So please join me in passing this amendment.
Mr. President.
The chair recognizes Ms. Cruz.
Thank you, Mr. President. I don't believe this amendment is necessary because many of our seniors are going off to college in the spring, and by having this display, this will allow them to be introduced into these agricultural careers that they can choose. So please help me in passing this motion.
Mr. President.
The chair recognizes Mr. Heisey.
I think that this amendment is a great idea. If we were to hold this off until next year, this would give us the opportunity to get enough funds in order to produce something that would be actually worth showing off to the rest of our school and would show the importance of agriculture in our school, our nation. So please help me in passing this amendment.
Is there any further discussion on this amendment? Seeing none, now proceed to vote. All in favor of amending the main motion by adding the words next year, making the main motion read, I move that our chapter set up a display at our school promoting careers in agriculture next year, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay.
Nay.
The ayes have it, this motion passes.
I rise for division of the assembly.
A division of the assembly has been called for. We now re-vote by more visual means. All in favor of amending the main motion by adding the words next year, making the main motion read, I move that our chapter set up a display at our school promoting careers in agriculture next year, please rise. 3, thank you. All opposed, please rise. 2, thank you. This motion passes. We now proceed back to the main motion, which states, I move that our chapter set up a display at our school promoting careers in agriculture next year.
Mr. President.
The chair recognizes Ms. Neidelberg.
Thank you, Mr. President. There are a couple of reasons, as I listed before, why I'm in favor of this motion. Such as, in the National SFA Manual, it states that to be a successful chapter, we need adequate funding. And being the chapter's treasurer, I know that we do in fact have the right amount of fundraising to have adequate funding. Therefore, I believe this would be a very plausible thing for us to do. It'd be a great idea. So please join me in passing this motion.
Mr. President.
The chair recognizes Ms. Gardner.
Thank you, Mr. President. I really don't think this motion is going to be beneficial. Our ag teacher already does a lesson with us in class about possible careers in agriculture, and she goes in depth with it a lot, so I don't think we need to extend it any further, and it's going to waste our time when we could be working on more important matters. Please help me in failing this motion.
Mr. President.
The chair recognizes Ms. Hernandez.
Thank you, Mr. President. Our local tractor supply recently donated us some money, and I think that this would be a great way to showcase them in this display. So I think that this would be a great way to say thank you for their donations. So please help me in passing this motion.
Mr. President.
The chair recognizes Ms. Lewis.
I move that we postpone this motion indefinitely. Second.
It has probably been moved and seconded that we postpone this motion indefinitely. This motion is debatable, however, is not amendable and requires a majority vote for passage. Is there any discussion on this postponement?
Mr. President.
As maker of the motion, Ms. Lewis, you'd like to speak first.
Thank you, Mr. President. Fellow members, please help me pass this motion to postpone. We have debated this in previous years, and it has never been a plausible thing. We came to the conclusion that we just would not be able to make it work, and it would not be beneficial in any way. Please help me postpone this motion indefinitely.
Mr. President.
The chair recognizes Ms. Garner.
Thank you, Mr. President. Please don't vote to postpone this motion indefinitely. I don't think that every member has had a chance to express their opinion on this motion, and I think we need more time to discuss it.
Mr. President.
The chair recognizes Ms. Hernandez.
Thank you, Mr. President. I am in opposition to this postponement. I believe that Park Pro is for everyone's opinion to be heard, and it was clear that not everyone had debated and said what they wanted to say. So by not allowing this to continue on, we would not be filling Park Pro to our fullest ability, so please help me failing this postponement.
Mr. President,
The chair recognizes Mr. Heisey.
I do think that this postponement is necessary, as the general consensus of the Assembly is that this is not something that is going to work. We do not have the adequate materials in order to do this, so I don't think that we should continue discussing this. So please help me in passing this postponement.
Is there any further discussion on this postponement? Seeing none, we now proceed to vote. All in favor of postponing this motion indefinitely, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay.
Nay.
The ayes have it, this motion fails. Now proceed back to the main motion, which states, I move that our chapter set up a display at our school promoting careers in agriculture next year.
Mr. President,
The chair recognizes Ms. Cruz.
thank you, Mr. President. I want to add that this year's national theme is Go All Out. And by having this display of agriculture at our school, it would be showing the school that we are going all out and trying to show them how much agriculture is to the state and our country. So please help me in passing this motion.
Mr. President.
The chair recognizes Ms. Lewis.
Thank you, Mr. President. My fellow members have swayed my opinion. I am now for this motion. Only 10% of Florida jobs are agriculturally based, and I believe that it would promote agriculture in our school if we were to put this display on. Pass the motion.
Is there any further discussion on this amendment, on this main motion? Seeing none, now proceed to vote. All in favor of our chapter setting the display at our school promoting careers in agriculture next year, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay.
Nay.
The ayes have it, this motion passes. Our chapter will set up a display at our school promoting careers in agriculture next year. Madam Secretary, do you have a record of any further business which should now be transacted?
I have none, Mr. President.
Does any member know of any new or unfinished business which should probably come before this meeting? We are about to adjourn this meeting of the South Lake Junior FFA chapter. As we mingle with others, let us be diligent in labor, just in our dealings, courteous to everyone, and above all, honest and fair in the game of life. Fellow members and guests, join me in a salute to our flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I now declare this meeting adjourned.